Many people join Toastmasters to learn speech, but actually we also learn something else, not only the speeches, because you come here, you make friends. When you have friends, you like to have fun. In our speeches, usually we like to talk about, share something very important. For example, today we have two speakers. They all share some very important ideas, right? When we listen to some good ideas, sometimes we learn very important lesson in our life. Another way that we can make the learning a little bit more fun is that we add some humor in it. Humor is a very interesting and very important element in our life. We cannot all study really, really hard without no humor, no fun. So that's why we have humorous speeches in Toastmasters contest. Starting from last year, actually, our fall conference in District 67 is going to end. So we are not going to have fall conference in District 67. However, some of the clubs, they decide to start their own humorous speech contest, like Arnold and some college presidents. So they would like to do this. So it would be a good idea we share how we can make the humorous speech much more effective. How do we actually conduct it? Some people do not know. So I want to share some of the ideas with all of you. Good. Why do we have humor? Like what I said earlier, we want to relax our audience. Even though we are talking about something very, very serious, you can observe all the past, the public speaking, the champions, if that's a contest, all those champion speakers, even though they are telling something very valuable, important lesson in their life, we still need some humor in it. So it's not the whole speech, 7 minutes, we all look at the speaker so seriously. It's not like that, because the good speaker needs to bring your audience emotions, ups and downs, and make them get moved. So they will follow your ideas and suggestions. So very first reason is that we want to relax our audience. Number two is we want to add some more fun. So we always say that all work and no play make Jack a dull boy, right? So you need to have some fun in your serious speech. Transition of emotion is going from something very sad and then you relax a little bit. And maybe something very fun, you want to turn it to a little bit more serious. So that's how we transit our emotions from one to another. Humor is one element you can take advantage of. Many people consider humorous speech is that, oh, I don't know how to prepare humorous speech, so I will prepare a lot of jokes. I just tell jokes in the humorous speech. But actually, it's a no-no. A humorous speech, if you consider the name, it's still a speech. So you have to consider it's still a speech. What is very important in a speech is your core value. You need to have something important to share. So that is why we call it a speech. It's not just telling jokes, have fun, and after that, everybody forget about it. So it's not like that. You still need to have a speech, core value in it. The difference is that how we present it. We present a speech with a humorous way, with a light-hearted way, so people feel fun, but still, through the process, they learn something important. So that's how we make a speech. So don't consider humorous speech is a cluster of jokes. No, it is a speech, but we present it with humorous way. Very important idea, like what I said, meaningful message. You always want people to go home and take something with them. So a core value is always very important. Make sure your speech has a core value. I'm not quite sure about you. Some of you are junior members in Korean Toastmasters Club. When you prepare your speech, have you ever asked yourself, why do my audience listen to my speech? Have you ever asked about that? What do you want them to go home with? Have you ever asked about that? If you are an audience, sometimes I listen to a speech, I have to say, what is it to do with me? You always have to put this in your mind and think about your audience, not just sharing your ideas, sharing your stories. Because if you don't put audience in your mind, there will be a one-man show. So people only listen to you, but they have nothing to do with your speech. Whatever you share with them, even those very important ideas, they don't change their life. A very good speech, to my understanding, is that you have the power to change the world. Very good speakers in the world, for example, like religious people, you know Buddha, you know Jesus, they are all very good speakers. When they use speeches, they have some important ideas, but they use stories to move you. So you have to think about the audience, think about the language, the words you choose, so they understand. They will be able to absorb it the most. Let's take a look at humorous speech from a contest perspective. If you join a humorous speech contest, there is a judging criteria, a ballot form. Take a look at the form. You know, for the content, there will be 55%. It's similar to international speech contest. The very first one is speech development. You need to develop the speech. So it's not just one joke after another. The story needs to be developed. The second part is effectiveness. How do you make sure that it's effective? After the speech, you can ask any audience, do you like my speech? What's something that you remember the most? What is my core value? What did you learn about it? If they answer the same like what you said before you deliver the speech, then it's an effective speech. Your delivery, your content, everything you design the speech is correct and successful. Next one, very important, speech value, 15%. So very important thing. You need to make sure this speech has something important for people to learn. Last but not least is audience response. If you join a contest, we want to hear audience laughter. So when you join a humorous speech contest, many people will laugh. So it's a good idea you practice. In our Chinese culture, we are not that humorous. It's not our Chinese culture. So we don't have that. So we use different ways to make fun. So make sure you need to practice the Western culture. You need to add some humor in your daily life. The next part is about the delivery, your body language and vocal variety. The first one is your physical. The second part, your voice. And the next one is the manner, how you present yourself on this stage. Are you confident enough to share your ideas? Or are you a little bit shy? You are not sure about what you say. The volume, all those words that you say, make sure you believe what you say. And so that's the manner. Your enthusiasm will make sure people buy your stories. So that's about the delivery. Last but not least is the language part. Appropriateness, 10%. What does it mean, appropriateness? Some people think about humorous speech, but they talk about jokes. And some Taiwanese talk about dirty jokes. So dirty jokes, they are low-taste humor. So don't talk about low-taste humor. Think about how others observe, learn the culture, learn how English speakers use humor in their work, in their language. So that's how we use. So appropriateness is very important. You cannot say those foul language, to scold people, blame people, use those dirty words on this stage. It's not a good idea. So appropriateness is very important. It needs to serve the speech purpose. Last but not least is the correctness. Many people worry about, my English is not very good. I cannot even speak very good English. How can I deliver a humorous speech? Look at the points, only 5 points. So even though your grammar is bad, pronunciation is bad, only 5 points. So don't worry too much. More important thing is the value, is what you want to tell people. So it's not about perfect pronunciation, perfect language, perfect vocabulary. No, it's not the point. The point is how you relax your audience and make them learn something from you. So that is how we judged during the evaluation, the humorous speech contest. Let's think about what are some topics we can use. Usually in a speech, they can categorize in 4 major purposes. It can be to inform or to persuade. Sometimes we want to persuade people believe what we say and take action, right? To inspire, we want to tell something very motivational, so people will think about themselves. So inspire the audience and always entertain. These 4 different categories doesn't mean that when you deliver a speech, only choose one. The very good one is that you put all in one speech, but make sure you all have humor elements in your speech. The recommendation can be from your daily life. So don't worry about it. I have to say something very special. No, your daily life, everything happened in your life. Today, you saw your teacher wore very strange pants. That can be a speech idea. Start from that, write your story. Funny experience, you can go travel during the vacation, spring break. You have a relationship with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you broke up, you had a fight, and then you get united. All those things, everything, your family, your friends, anybody, anything you can put in your speech. Topics is everywhere. But be current, be topical. For example, current issues. What are happening on our daily life in newspaper? Oh, what is the name? Sun Anzuo, right? So what happened? What do you believe what he did, or do you think he's guilty or he's not? It can be an issue, right? You can take this seriously, but deliver it in this humorous way. Let's take newspaper, television, internet. All these are the sources you can find. Celebrities, those famous people, politicians, etc. People make fun of the United States President Trump a lot, right? So there are a lot of jokes about that, but you need to make sure it's a speech. It's not just jokes. Is it okay to laugh about it now? So sometimes something funny has a time-related factors. So make sure that this is okay, that people can laugh about it. So don't say something that is very too sensitive. So because it can hurt other people's feelings. So make sure all these things that you can check before you choose. Use your imagination, because imagination can go wild. So don't limit yourself. Give me some examples. Elephant sleepers. Elephant is so big, you want to make a sleeper for it. So maybe it's a fun speech. Think about it. Number 2, eye patches for a giant. He has some eye problems, so he has to wear a patch. What can it be? Think about it. Frisbee for the disabled. Disabled people, they have to sit on the wheelchair. But what are some frisbees they can play? What are some games? Actually, they already have that, so you can find some information about it. My suggestion: don't be inhibited. Don't limit yourself, because anything can happen. Editing and censorship comes later. So you don't tell yourself, no, this is not good enough. No, this is not a good idea. Don't judge. Write your speech first. Always remember, write a speech first. You finish the script and do some basic editing first. Core value, everything is there. And then the last part, you start to add humor into it. It is not you start to write humor ideas in the speech. If you start from that, you will get stuck. So the idea is to write a speech first, a very clear core value. Finish everything, then you start to think about, this part I can change it, I can use a different way to say it, make it much more fun. I can make it funny. I can do some body movement, some gestures, body language, some strange voice to make it fun. So that's how we deliver a humorous speech. It is not that you start to write a humorous speech, keep thinking about humorous speeches. You're gonna kill yourself after 5 minutes. So. next one. I'm going to show you some of the past winners' topics. You can consider. In 2015, Kyle's speech is Family and Change. 2014, Hai Shuo. These are all the champions. My giraffe students. You can find all this on YouTube. So it's all videos are all there. 2014, my speech. What are they thinking? From the title, sometimes you don't know what's going to be about, but you can always say something fun. 2012, Teresa Zhang, our former district director, languages. 2011, Oscar, his speech is Why Me. 2010, Tracy Chen, Don't Be a Follower. So these are all, you can all watch their videos, try to learn from them, okay? Because anything in your life can be speech topics, can be something you put in your speech. Exaggerate, okay, so we already know some topics, right? Now I'm gonna share with you, because you already know that write a speech first, then add humor into it. How can we add humors? There are some ideas I would like to share with you. Don't take pictures here, because I'm gonna share the PPT with all of you. If you come today, you can get a PPT. You don't need to come your writings. But if you want to use it, enhance your memory, it's a good idea. Number one is exaggerate. I would like to invite the audience to join me and to have some more interactive delivery. So I want to invite you to share, to help me to read this. Number one, okay, for example, can you read this?
It was so hot you could run on the sidewalk.
Good, that's exaggeration. You say something, think about something, but you want to make it, it's not possible, so you exaggerate it. So that's how we do it.
I am so hungry, I could eat a horse.
Oh, very good. So he even added some vocal variety, right? So very good. The next one.
Where's your homework? My little sister ate it.
Good. So you forgot your homework. Your teacher asked you, "What's your homework?" "Oh, my sister ate it." So your facial expression, your body language, vocal variety, everything. It's all the set. It's a set. You cannot separate them because everything with your language, the content, they are all a set. This is exaggerated. Some examples, some more. They all have assignments, right? Assignments. I find some people who don't have assignments.
My dad's pen kept creeping up on him. By age 65, he was just a pair of pants and his head.
Do you know what it means? Creep up. That means goes up, right? He said, my dad's pants keep creeping up on me. Have you ever seen some old people? When they wear pants, they want to wear really high. Right. I don't know what happened to them. You know? Maybe their stomach is too vulnerable. They want to keep it warm. They want to keep it really high. So he said, my dad's pants keep creeping up on him. So by the end of 65, he has only head and the pants. So that's an exaggeration. It's not possible, but you make people feel fun. The second thing, incongruity, comparison. So you put something, they shouldn't be in a set, in a group, but you put them all together to make it fun. Gentlemen. The first one.
Study very hard and get many points in the exam. But the score is out of 1,000.
Good, very good. Yeah, very good. He actually demonstrated you say something with no emotion. Very good, very good, very good. Use some emotion, you know. You have to be very excited, very first sentence. 90, I got 90. But the fourth score is 1,000. You have some twist. This type of fun and humor is that there's a twist in the sentence, right? The previous one is the same. The second sentence is the twist. Make you feel fun. So 90 points, people say, oh, it's really good. But actually, it's the fourth score is 1,000. The second one. Sorry, it's not about the importance of facial expression, that's what I say. So, later, okay. So, facial expression, your voice, your gesture, vocal variety, everything together, one set. Don't separate them, all right? Next, good, please. Plastic surgery. Plastic surgery. The surgery. Eyes bigger. Continue. Examination. Good. So it's not about the eyes so small. It's because the face is so big. So your eyes look so small. You wanted to make your eyes bigger, right? So you can become more beautiful. It's not a problem about the eyes. It's on your face. So that's when you put something should be together, make it fun. The next one, the play on words, or we say puns. It can also be one of play on words, right? So how about
If you want to get rich, you have to keep your mouth shut because silence is gold.
good? Because if they shut the mouth, right? Silence is gold. You play on words. It's also a way of presenting humor. You have things to say. How about you?
When I was little, my kid asked me, what do you want to be in the future? I want to be nobody, because nobody is perfect.
Good. What do you want to be in the future with kids, right? Oh, I want to be nobody. Why nobody? Because nobody is perfect. Perfect. Simple, perfect. So play on words. Okay, the next one. You said something, right? How about you? Good. Shopping mall. Shopping mall. See, it sounds similar. Make it fun, right? And the second one, how about this? Goodbye, right? Goodbye. We buy a lot of things. Goodbye, right? Question. Goodbye. Very good. Very good. The next one, play on words.
He's the idol of the family. Yes, he really is. Idol for 20 years already.
Idol. It sounds similar, right? But actually different meanings. Idol means some people you worship. But idol means you don't do anything at home. Good. The second one, how about beautiful lady?
Did you hear about John who got hit in the head with a can of soda? He was lucky. It was a soft drink.
So, like, hit the head, right? But it's a soft drink, so it's not so serious. Good. So these are play on words. You use the similar sounds or different meanings of the same words. Pun. That can also make something fun. The next part is acronym. You put all the first letter of some phrase together, make it fun. MBA can be
Married but available.
good. I'm an MBA. One more.
Married by accident.
Yeah, married by accident. Yeah, I'm an MBA. What do you mean MBA? Where did you go to school? Oh, married by accident. So it's fun, right? The next one, PhD.
Pizza Hut delivery.
Yeah, pizza. I'm a PhD. Pizza Hut delivery. And one more. One more.
Permanent
Permanent damage. Good. It's actually the twist, right? Your PhD means somebody who's very smart. But the PhD here means you have something wrong with your brain. The FBI, the next one.
Female body inspector.
Good. Female, I'm an FBI. I'm a female body inspector. Right. Good. So the twist. Let's think about the twist. How about?
Okay. Suddenly, the apartment door opens and a woman comes in and shouts, "Darling, I'm home."
Good. So you